what is the corporate tax rate in Singapore, but how could it be modified? What opportunities are there for reducing that rate?
Okay, so the headline tax is 70%. So I don't think that would get any lower. It's considered quite low in the region. So I don't think the government will get any lower. But in Singapore, you have something called the tax exemption. So effectively, I would say most of the companies, most of the SME would not hit 17%. Okay, would not hit 70%. So it can be as low as, I think it's let me check. It's as low as effectively is 4.25%. Yeah, so it's really low. So you're talking about if you have 100,000 of chargeable income, you're talking about 4.25% of tax effectively.
How does that work? I mean, not the details, but how is it that it has come all the way down from 17 to 4? Just
so they have something like a relief. Okay, so if you had that relief taken away, so effectively you are paying a smaller amount of tax, so that works out to be 4.25%.
Right, and is there a threshold? So you mentioned SME, so your turnover has to be below what income?
Oh no, it doesn't track by turnover. So as long as you have chargeable income, you get tax exempted on a certain level.
Right, so chargeable income up to 100,000.
Yes, let me see. If I'm not mistaken, 100,000 you get some, you get 50% off 100,000, something like that. But I don't remember quite correctly.
Okay, so and just to be clear again for those who may be listening, when we say chargeable income, we mean taxable income. So earnings after expenses. That is okay. Yes. Gotcha. Okay, so 4% sounds pretty attractive. Malaysia, Ravi.
Yeah. Okay. For Malaysia, the corporate tax, there's 2 tiers. One is for the non-SME companies. Non-SME companies, basically their paid up capital is less than 2.5 million. Okay, for the less than 2.5 million, for the first 600K, their tax rate is 17%. The rest of it will fall 24%. For non-SME, that is paid up capital above 2.5 million, or whatever income they receive is at flat 24%, technically. So,
but
I'm not sure.
I'm waiting for but there's Labuan, right?
Yeah, there's Labuan. Labuan is getting more stricter. That means the rules are more tighter because of the BIPS conditions they put in Malaysia. Labuan also, there's 2 things. One is Labuan business activity. Labuan business activity, you comply to the substance. If you comply to the substance, actually the substance depends on what kind of industry. Certain industry, they have a different substance. Okay, this industry, they maybe say your substance, you must have you must have an office, so much of expenses. You have 1 staff, your operating expenditure, so much. Then different nature of business, different requirement. So it's based on the substance. If you fulfill the substance means, then it will be taxed at 3% on the net profit. Okay, on the accounts. That is it. Okay. If you don't comply with the substance, then you go for 24%. Okay. Last time there was before this act changes, they told that those Labuan company didn't comply to the substance, they must report the income tax under the Income Tax Act, not the Labuan Act. There was a lot of against on this because the business community didn't agree, because they have physically the arrangement has been done, all these things. You cannot really overnight change this. That's why they have this flexibility. They say you still can be a Labuan tax, but you pay 24% tax. Okay, so since they are still in Labuan, there is still benefit for them because they don't still submit the tax estimate form. Few of the conditions that apply under the Income Tax Act, they no need to follow. They still follow the Labuan tax rule. I see a bit relaxed. But the thing is, Labuan, although the tax is low, but the penalties are quite high compared to Income Tax Act. So one of our clients, I think 3 years back, we are not doing that company, because they have many companies under the group. The tax agent is a different tax agent. So they was rushing and they couldn't make the deadline and submitted. I think that just the submission, the late submission fee come around $500,000. It's quite, and it's very difficult. We heard it's a difficult task to go and appeal with Labuan Although that's why I see they're giving this kind of concession, but they're catching you with this. So you must really see whether the company, some of them are moving out already from Labuan because of this. They couldn't comply with these requirements. You see? Then, okay, the other one is non-business activity, Labuan non-business activity, like investment holding. Same thing also, that's the second tier. If they comply with the substance, zero tax.
Wow.
Zero tax.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they doesn't comply with the substance, same problem, 24% tax.
Okay. So it's super important to get advice from reputable, qualified tax teams to make sure that whatever it is you're doing is in compliance with the Labuan Act, assuming that's the accurate route.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Whereas in Singapore, the 4%, there are a few caveats for 4%. And Bunip, if I understood what you said earlier, there may not even be a substance requirement. The private limited, is there a requirement for companies to have economic substance in Singapore?
I think probably the lowest, is 4.25%. But you have conditions. So what happened is to enjoy that kind of tax exemption, there's a shareholders requirement, I think. Okay, I think it's 30% has to be individual, need not be local, it can be a foreigner. So if you have those 100% own corporate shareholders, you may not enjoy 4.25%, but you still enjoy a lower effective tax. I couldn't remember how much, but definitely it's not much. I think probably 6%. So it's not a foul.
Okay, so the requirement is for individual shareholders, but what about economic substance? Is there any substance requirements for Singapore?
Okay, basically these are trades. Okay, so companies that are involved in trades. So trades, as in you provide service, is considered trade. So you sell goods, right? So as long as you are in trades, they allow you these exemptions.
Right. So in other words, no holding companies, no investment companies.
Yes, it's correct. So holding companies are not entitled, but they don't get the full tax exemptions, which gets to as low as 4.25%, but they still get the partial, which is I think probably 7-8%.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you very much.
So if you're a 6, 7, or 8-figure investor, entrepreneur, or business owner who needs a tailor-made solution from a qualified team of professionals, we can help you achieve the international lifestyle, the freedom, and even the tax savings you're looking for. Visit us at htj.tax and live that international life.